All right, everybody. Today is hot. Not as hot as it was last week. Last week, we were in the high 90s. I mean, very high 90s out here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Well, anyway, this is Clear Blue Radiance and another pre-recorded video stream podcast. Because I'm waiting for my AC to get fixed, I don't know when they're going to come. So it's better for me to give you a pre recorded version than try to do a live and be interrupted during a live. So today's date is Thursday. It's August the 28th. Happy birthday to anybody who has birthday today. May you have a much better time than I'm having right now. So, what I want to tell you, this is Clear Blue Radiance. I've been podcasting for over 4 years now, I believe. And usually I would do it live on a Thursday for Resident Essentials YouTube channel platform for Resident Essentials. But I had some difficulty getting on the internet today. And a lot of it has to do with, I think I live in this older area, so it's a little harder to get things done or have some internet internet access to flow really fluently out here. But anyway, I'm here today and I'm pre-recording. So for anybody that sees this, you can come back and play it on the YouTube channel for Resident Essentials. And I'm also going to upload it into my Circle of Grace One channel. So you'll have both ways in which to look at it. Anytime you go there, you'll see this particular video in the files. Well, today's topic is meditation and silence. Now, many people always ask, every time I try to sit to meditate, my mind is busy. I got a lot of thoughts going on. Well, I want to let you know you won't be the last, and you're definitely not the first. I've been doing meditation since 1971 when I was a freshman in college, when I attended Bard College back in the 70s. That's how I learned meditation, not by a fellow student, but by a guy who used to come on campus and hang out because he had a lot of friends there. He wasn't a student. He called himself a military brat. So he learned meditation from his father. And I guess he's pretty much well off because he can travel around to the Mid Hudson area colleges where he knew a lot of the faculty and, of course, a lot of the other students. So he was one of four people that I noticed that was on campus doing that. His first name was Martin or Marty, Marty, or Martin. I'm not going to say his last name, but it starts with an S. And I do mention him by first name and last initial in my most recent book, which is down. I do mention him in my book, Radiant Heart: Seven Amazing Pathways to Connect, Activate, and Communicate with Your Higher Self. So, meditation is one of the ways in which to do that. It's one of the most profound ways to do it. And today's topic is meditation and silence. Now, when you're meditating, it's very important to be able to sit in silence. People say, well, let me go out into nature. If you could do that, do it. Sit in nature. Be in your backyard. Be on your back porch. Do it. Sit inside your gazebo and do it. Not everybody can sit outside because the more silent you become, the more in tune you become with nature, you will have many visitations. Ants will visit you. Butterflies will visit you. Bees will visit you. Maybe a squirrel or two will notice, hey, who's that person up there? That human. Let me go investigate. So everything will come around to investigate you. And it's okay. You have to learn how to sit with nature, in nature, and to sit so that you can become quiet. So, yes, your mind is going to race all the time. Mind is always racing. Why? Because we're beings that can think. We're thinking all the time. We're planning something all the time. Many times we get caught up in worry and anxiety, worrying about how our future is going to be, worry about how such a bad day we had in the immediate day, or we worried about something that happened several weeks ago. We're always generating thoughts. And along with those thoughts are emotional feelings, are levels of sensitivity. So, do you really get rid of your thoughts? Well, what happens when you do sit down and meditate is eventually all the thoughts going on inside your head eventually fade into the background. They fade into the background because at some point you learn not to pay any attention to all of those thoughts rambling through your brain. You realize they have nothing to do with the very moment that you're seated in, striving to experience meditation. So often, many people find it difficult to sit alone, to sit by themselves. This is why I give meditation for an hour on Saturdays, usually from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. How many students do I have? Well, when I was asked to come there and teach meditation by my good friend Michelle Vidal, who has the center, I had as many as 29 to 30 people for an hour. Now, some people weren't meditating. Some people were trying to tune into other people's energies. Never do that. Pay attention to your own energy field, your own auric field, than trying to tune into someone else. That's not what you want to do. Besides, another person may not be aware of it, but someone else in the room might be aware that you're trying to tune into other people and will therefore put you in check. So it's very important that we are mindful, paying 100% of our attention. That's what mindfulness is. Pay attention to you, to how you're feeling when you're seated in meditation. Pay attention to how you feel. Pay attention to what it's like when you're seated in a specific chair that you chose. Maybe you're seated on the floor on a pillow, up against a wall. Maybe you know how to sit in almost a yogic style position. That's with your legs crossed at your ankles. But not everybody can sit like that. Not everybody has a body that's flexed like that. So I always say, sit up in a chair. Why stress yourself out physically? What you want to be able to do is pay attention to how you're breathing. That's most important. Not just also how you're seated, because that's important too. You want to sit up as if you're raising up through, you're straightening out your neck, raising up through the top of your head. But also, you want to be relaxed. That's important. What's the use of being seated and not letting yourself relax physically as well as mentally? Those are the two things you have to be able to do. What's up here must also match what's behind the sternum, which is your heart. The thought process will eventually slow down. Over time, it will slow down. Now, when I say over time, that means you must become a dedicated student to meditation. You must allow yourself to sit for at least 15 to 20 minutes every day so you can meditate, so you can get into that center of being in a state of peace, harmony, and happiness with yourself. Now, sometimes when you're seated in meditation, tears will flow because you touch a part of yourself that needs to release pent-up feelings. Old thoughts will arise where you see yourself maybe not getting along with somebody and it's still bothering you. So you begin to release tears about it. Or you miss someone who has passed on, miss someone very important in your life, and you're still feeling that strong connection. Excuse me. Well, you may release some tears with that person as well. See, what's very important is to be transparent with yourself. That's many people do not realize the importance of meditation. Many people feel like they need to meditate. So this is important. You need to realize that meditation is highly important for you. You have to understand that meditation is helping you. The ability to be seated in meditation is a very profound thing to do. Now, often when you're seated in meditation, there are some challenges. And those challenges are either internal, things that you think about all the time, things that you haven't disconnected from, but also external. That's why if you choose to sit outside in nature, you're going to have some challenges. If you're not sitting in a park where it's fairly quiet, you might sit in a park that has a lot of activity around it and through it. That's hearing voices of children or adults talking and laughing, hearing a dog bark. But if you have it within you, that great internal serene self, that dog that's normally barking is going to feel your vibration. It's going to come in your direction and it's going to look at you. You don't have to look at it eye to eye. You don't have to engage the dog at all. Just stay centered. And that dog will want to sit within your auric field, your personal space, because they know there's something there for them. So meditation is important. Sometimes we need to disconnect from our cell phones, our TV sets, our laptops, desktops, notebooks, Kindles. If you're going to meditate, shut off your phone. Now, you might depend on a lot of people depend on you. So my students know when they come on a Saturday morning to study meditation themselves through meditation, they know to put the phone on silence because that's what they need to do. They don't need to hear the phone ring. They don't need to hear the phone buzz or vibrate because then that brings them out of that meditative state of mind. So what students learn to do, at least mine do, they look forward to a group meditation. Because being able to sit in a group helps you do what? It helps you remain centered. It helps you to be more grounded and rooted. It helps you to realize, okay, I'm not doing this by myself. There are other people that I'm in meditation class with. Now, it's very important if you're sitting in a group that you're not trying to be a sneaky person and try to tune into somebody else's energy. I've had many experiences as a teacher and even as a student where I felt someone studying me, then then they close their eyelids, their eyes down, and they look away. Too late. Already know you're tuning in. So I teach students to feel a little bit more shielded at times with themselves. Now, just feeling the presence of a shield, all that basically does is make you more sensitive to your environment, as well as teaching yourself what to pay attention to and what not to pay attention to. That means you might know there's a car going by. You might know somebody's riding a bike in your area, motorcycle, or riding past your house when you're indoors in meditation. Someone might be playing music in your home, but you need to be in that quiet mode. So you need to have some headsets. You can have the headsets that are not even connected to your system, just giving you the sense of more silence to be attained. So it's important. Your goal is to get to the state of not paying attention to thoughts, not paying attention to your output of thoughts and your feelings and your memories. But this is what I do tell people. Allow yourself to be in a state of meditation just enough so that you are aware of your surroundings. In other words, when you have your eyelids closed and you're seated quietly for meditation, if you're not tuning into the rambling mind, you are going to tune into what it feels like with your eyes closed, eyelids closed down, and what am I sensing? You don't want to be too deep in meditation at times to forget you got something cooking in the kitchen. Don't get that deep. You don't need to experience a fire. You need to still be alert on some level. But what meditation can help you do is to quiet this mind down enough where now you're paying attention to how you are feeling, how you are breathing, how you are seated. And if you're meditating in a group once or twice a week, at least once a week, but you're meditating on your own, this is very, very important now. If you're meditating in the solo moment by yourself, and you are allowing yourself to experience the door opening up on the inside where silence enters. Now, I say it that way because you're in the beginning, as a beginner, silence comes, you think it's coming from outside. Silence is sitting on the inside. That's you as the higher self being absolutely quiet, waiting for you to receive it, to embrace it. So eventually, you learn how to dance with silence. You learn the importance of it. What you want to realize is eventually you come to that point within yourself where you're not concerned with all the external things outside yourself. You begin to look forward to experiencing that silent moment that sometimes can be fleeting. And then you get disturbed because you're looking at your phone. Don't even look at your phone. Expect to receive, to embrace the moment of silence. In that moment, you start looking forward to receiving it more often, to feeling it more often. Then what do you think would happen? Your higher self, that aspect of you that is closer to the divine presence, that reflects it solely within itself as a light. Eventually, you're going to want to experience connecting with it more often. So, this is why it is so important for you to practice daily. Now, don't worry about if you miss a session. Let's say you're a person who likes to meditate in the morning because you have more time to be able to work yourself up to 20 minutes. And people say in the beginning, well, what am I to do the first time when I'm just a beginner? Spend the first part of your day, if you can, just on how you're seated and how you are breathing. Those are the two most important things. Then sit for at least 10 minutes. Or if you can, 15 minutes. If you want, you can put a timer on your watch or a clock that it will give off a signal when 10 to 15 minutes is done. Do that every day for at least 6, 7 days, every day at the same time. Now, why would you choose the same time? Because you're building up energy within yourself. You're expecting to be able to sit in the morning, if you chose the morning, early morning, for 10 or 15 minutes. And after you're able to do that for 7 days in a row, or let's say you decide, okay, when I come home from work, or many people work from home, and I say, okay, before my children get home, I'm going to spend that 10 minutes. Well, the best way to do it is announce to your family that you're going to practice meditation and you have a designated time which you're going to practice. And you might say, I'm going to practice my meditation between 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., even though in the beginning you're going to sit for 10 minutes for the first 7 nights or 7 days. On that 8th day, you must increase it by 5 minutes. And you do that for another week. So let's say you sat in meditation in the beginning for at least 15 minutes. Next week, every day or every night, you're going to make that 15 minutes 20 minutes. And then the third week, you're going to make it 25 minutes. And then the fourth week, you're going to make it what? By that time, 30 minutes. Why? Because by the time you get to 20 minutes and 25 minutes, you're pretty comfortable with sitting for that length of time. And when you hit that fifth week, now you can go for what, 35 minutes. That sixth week, 40 minutes. That seventh week, 45 minutes. And then after then, you're in it for about an hour. But the key factor is consistency, discipline. You have to want to meditate. You have to want to sit alone. But if you have a partner that's into it as well, then you and your partner sit together, which is also good. Why? Because you hold each other accountable for being able to sit for a certain length of time without being disturbed. Now, here's a good thing. Journal your experience. After you're done meditating, journal your experience. What did you feel when you started meditating? And then weeks later, how do you feel now since you've been meditating a little longer? every day or in the evening. Some people get into it enough where they realize, you know what? I notice I have free time in evening time. So I can meditate in the morning as well as later in the evening. Now, if you're going to meditate either in the morning or the evening, it's important that you do it before you eat. If you do it after you're eating, you need at least 45 minutes to at least an hour because your food is going to do what? It's going to start digesting in your body. And your body needs all the energy to digest the food that you just had, unless you had a liquid in your body, like some unsweetened iced tea or lemonade that you made for yourself. And you had it at room temperature, not icy cold, or you're sipping on warm tea or some warm coffee. Whatever you choose, don't eat something heavy because your body needs the time to digest. So it's best that you meditate before you have breakfast. Why? Because now your body is open to it. It's also good to meditate before dinner or several hours after dinner. And at least 1 whole hour and a half should be a space of time before you go to sleep. So you want to meditate up to 60 minutes and then give yourself 30 minutes to what? Kind of come down the ladder. Meditations is important, but silence is best for you. You see, some people say, well, I was sitting in meditation and I had some thoughts. I started to think, well, then you had stopped meditation because you went into the state of contemplation. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to contemplate some things, then just contemplate some things. Do that. Meditation deserves your deepest respect. So silence can reveal itself to you. See, we need the silence so that eventually, within 4 or 5 or 6 months, not only does the door within opens you up towards silence, but the door within silence can open you up to reveal and experience and embrace your higher self. You want to be able to do that, my friends. You want to be able to experience your higher self. Because once you do, you're always going to experience your higher self. That's you on a higher frequency, vibrating higher and putting out a frequency like an antenna, putting out signals to connect with something else greater than yourself, always. This is why we must become a dedicated student for meditation. We must allow patience to go with us, that part of ourselves that doesn't rush anything. Just, in other words, one of my teachers has said this, and I heard it said long time ago, that the purpose for meditation is not to get to the end, because now you're dealing with limitations. So don't worry about the end. Will I arrive? Just know that the journey of getting there is the greatest tool within yourself. You see, you're going to enjoy the journey, the ups and the downs. You're going to eventually realize, hey, I need to stop thinking so much. I need to stop paying attention to all those thoughts that are coming and going. So sometimes here's another way of using a journal. Some people do this. And what I'm about to say is they have their journal in front of them. They say a prayer for themselves. Then they write out an intentional prayer. In other words, what they're looking to accomplish in that moment when they're seated for meditation. They might say, well, I'm being seated today through divine power and by divine grace, I will experience kindness. because I am a kind person. I'm going to express kindness toward myself. I'm going to express unconditional love. I'm going to embrace myself with unconditional love. I'm going to hear the journey of inner peace. I'm going to hear the journey of laughter. I'm going to hear the journey of compassion, because that's all within me. That's an expression of my higher self. I'm going to observe my feelings as my higher self. I'm going to observe my thoughts and then let them go as my higher self. Do you know sometimes your eyes are closed and you're looking at the energy field within the brain? You start to see images. You begin to see other faces. You begin to notice that, hey, there's something here that's looking at me. Who or what is that? And here's what you begin to realize. You begin to realize that it's you the whole time. You. Doesn't matter if you were focusing on an Egyptian deity, an East Indian yogi deity, a Greek deity, an African deity. Doesn't matter. It's an aspect already within your cellular memory, because some part of you has experienced those things before. It's not just being brought to your attention at this moment, because you begin to realize through silence, as you meditate, you begin to remember. Now you start to remember and realize, oh, I've sat in meditation before. It's not difficult. I can sit on one of those huge balls and not roll off onto the floor. I can sit in a yogic style meditation chair or cushion and not lean to the left or the right or forward or back. Now, some people are adept enough to lay down on their couch or on their bed and lay down in such a way that they know that it's good to occasionally open the eyelids and don't let the eyes dart around. Just slide to the right or to the left, up or beneath you, but take your time. It's important. Those of us who realize this now, with all that's going on in the world, meditate. With everything that's going on in the world, meditation is needed for you right now. Yes, there's a lot of things that could throw you off center. Many people will call you and say, hey, this is going to happen. That's going to happen. I saw it. I saw it. I saw it. It may happen. And who knows? Maybe the person is right. That's what they saw. But are they aware that there are many timelines, many alternatives? So what they see may not actually happen then. And here's another thing. You might see something too. I saw something earlier was it this week? Last week. I saw something early last week. I saw a bunch of flags, certain flags, sitting in a white pickup truck at someone's health food store. And it was only there because they thought, because the person spelled country with a K, that group that put that truck there thought that guy was a supporter. And they found out, no, we don't support you. We don't support that stuff. We honor everybody. And I mean everybody. So that truck wasn't there anymore. Those flags weren't sitting out there anymore. The only reason why the person called it a country store with a K is to gain attention for that store. He could have put a C there, no one recognizes it. But he's not that kind of guy. He's not a racist person, not a racist bone in his body, so to speak. Because all of his clients come in every complexion, every nationality, every type of cultural background. So these things do happen. What's the best thing to do? Don't entertain them. Don't entertain the thought. When we don't entertain the thought, we hear the proper message. Those people don't even live in this area. They don't live in this city. They don't live in this section of the city. They don't even live in this state. They're passing through. So the greatest lesson when we see something that would normally agitate us, we put the good word on it. Peace, harmony, and happiness. Unconditional love, compassion, and we are surrounded by divine grace. That's the order of the day, the order of the moment. So, meditation and silence is important. Meditation allows you to embrace silence, and silence allows you to get ready to embrace your higher self, because it will happen. You just have to become more dedicated to your practice of meditation. Well, that's my message for today. It's pre-recorded, folks, and it's quiet outside. My residence, quiet in the hallways. It's pretty cool. Silence manifested itself right here in this pre-recorded video. So I hope to be live again. And if not, what I might do is put forth more pre-recorded stuff to be on both platforms. Resident Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics, Resident Essentials YouTube channel, as well as Circle of Grace 1, which is my YouTube channel. Well, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you learned something from it. And you might be thinking, can we meditate? Here's a little something for you. Join me right now. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. You can let your eyelids come down a little bit if you want. You can leave them open. Your choice. Just keep breathing. Keep exhaling. The only thoughts in your mind is unconditional love. The only thing beyond unconditional love is peace, harmony, and happiness. You're a happy person. You're a peaceful person. You're a joyful person. And peace, harmony, and happiness follows you wherever you go. Divine grace encircles you wherever you are. And your shield is yourself. No fear, no doubt, no anger. Remember that divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance. This is Clear Blue Radiance, and I'm your host, Brother Francis E. Rebels Bay. See you really soon. And again, I hope I get a chance to go live really soon in a nice, cooler apartment.